Alright, so this is my wife's 2008 Mazda 3i. It's got the 2.0 4-cylinder in it. Started having some issues a little while back that sounds like it's pretty common from what I've read on internet forums, where the battery light would come on after a cold start, stay on, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then eventually shut itself back off. So I'll show you what that battery light looks like. So when you turn the car on without any power, let's see if we can see it there. Maybe difficult to see on this camera, but there it is. The top right light that you see, the battery light, stays on, of course, when the engine's off, but then if we were to turn the engine on, it should go off in normal operation. It wasn't doing that on cold starts, and so anyway, started reading about it. Sounds like what causes the problem is the voltage regulator that's built into the alternator. So I decided to test this. Now, the way that I did it, looking at the battery here, I've got the battery cover removed. If you remove the positive terminal from the battery while the car is running, the car should continue to run because the alternator will be providing power for the car. However, if the alternator isn't working and you were to remove that, then the car should die. That means that while the alternator is not working, the battery is the only thing supplying power, electrical power, for the vehicle. The car will run without the alternator working for a short period of time, say maybe between 15 and 30 minutes. Eventually what will happen, though, is it'll suck all the charge out of the battery. The battery then will probably be ruined because they can only stand to be completely drained and recharged for a certain number of times. So anyway, I narrowed it down, determined it was the alternator. So I decided to do the replacement myself. Now, the alternator on this car is actually really easy to replace. The hardest part is removing the cowling from underneath the engine, the air dam and all those things. So anyway, here's the alternator way down in there that you can see. It's kind of dark, but pretty simple to remove. There's only 4 bolts. Now, in order to get to it, you have to take this piece here and grab, I believe it was a 14mm wrench, and wrench it towards the firewall. So if you take the wrench and push it this direction, that releases the tension on the serpentine belt, and then that allows you to take the serpentine belt down here and just remove it from the alternator. You can also see right there that top bolt that is right in the middle of the frame now. That's the very top bolt that holds the alternator onto the vehicle. There's another one towards the middle of the car from here, but you can't reach it from above the engine. You have to get it from down below the engine. So anyway, that's how you access the alternator from the top. I would definitely undo that top bolt and undo the serpentine belt before I got underneath the car. Looking underneath the car, if we move down here, it may be a little dark, but there are bolts all the way around the front edge. So you can see they go all the way from tire around the front of the bumper all the way to the other tire. There are a Phillips head screw, and so if you have a drill to remove it, or you can just use a screwdriver to remove it, you have to remove all of those. There are also, I believe, 6 hex nuts. I think they're 12mm hex nuts, maybe 10, I can't remember. Right along underneath here, and then there's 2 just inside each wheel arch. There's 2 over here on this side, and then the same thing on the other side. Those have to be removed as well. When you pull all of those out, all of that cowling will come off of the car pretty easily. Unfortunately, I've already put it back on there, so I'm not going to pull it off again because that was honestly the most annoying part of this replacement. Here's the old alternator. It fits in the car just like this, so you can see this side of it fits in the car this direction. We're looking at it from the top view now, so the bolt that we just mentioned earlier goes in right here. You can see where the serpentine belt attaches. Now, when you get underneath the car, you'll see that there's some electrical stuff attached to the front of the alternator. So if you look right here, on the very front, you'll see that little stud sticking out. There's a nut that screws onto that stud to hold a wire onto there, and it's got this little plastic cover piece on top of it, or covering it, that you'll have to remove. I believe it's a 12mm nut, and so you have to remove that. And then there's also this little plug that you see right there above it that you have to remove as well. Pretty easy to remove both of those things. They're both latched onto there. They have that little clip on them, and so you really have to kind of work your hands in there and try to get that clip, but it is not too hard to get done. Other than that, you can see the 3 bolts that are on the back side of the alternator. You've got the top one here. That's the one that's kind of up beside the radiator. You've got the bottom 2 here that are just in plain sight once you get underneath the car. The bolts come out from this direction, and that's all there is to it. Be careful when you put it back on. Don't tighten it too much, because you don't want to strip those bolts out or break them or anything and have to cost yourself another trip to the hardware store. So that's the alternator. Voltage regulator, I determined went out in mine, replaced it, and it fixed the vehicle perfectly. Upon reinstall, one thing to be careful about, it may help if you have somebody, or if you have another set of hands to pull this tensioner back so that you can put the serpentine belt back on. I did it myself, but it wasn't fun. So other than that, pretty simple to do. Make sure you hook your battery leads back up. Don't leave anything under the engine bay. And if you got any questions, you can't figure out what to do once you get underneath the car, shoot me a message, and I'll see if I can help you out. Thanks. Have a good one.